Let's stay on Iran. Trump was asked when a memorandum of understanding with Iran is actually going to be released so we can all see it for ourselves. Listen to what he said.
I think pretty soon. I would say, I want it to be released because it's a very powerful document. It's not like the Obama document, which was just a terrible document. This is a very powerful document, and I want it to be released. So probably pretty soon. I would say sometime after Friday, because the Strait opens completely. It's open now, but it opens completely.
Senate Homeland Security Chairman Rand Paul joins me now. Senator, what you do know from what we all know right now, are you happy about the deal?
You know, I think the sooner the war's over, the better. The better for the American consumer, the better for the American farmer with fertilizer prices. So I'm in favor of Trump's peace negotiations. And really the initial that we're hearing is that the trade is that we will discontinue our blockade and that the Iranians will allow ships to go through the Strait. So I think opening the Strait is a great beginning. I'm hopeful that in the second phase of this, that they will agree to exit the enriched uranium from the country, and I think that could be done in exchange for normalizing trade with Iran and the rest of the world, and I think that's worth the trade. If they're willing to export that enriched uranium and no longer enriched uranium, by all means you need to offer something, and that offer should be normalization of trade and removal of sanctions.
Their record on keeping deals is horrendous. If they don't keep to the letter of this deal, whatever it turns out to be, do we still have to hold on to that military option?
Well, you know, one of the trades is very easy to verify, and that's the removal of the enriched uranium. So really, if the deal is you remove the enriched uranium to another country and then we release the sanctions, that's completely verifiable. They've seen the military option. So the military option, while I'm not a big fan of war, has probably changed their perspective with regard to diplomacy. So I think they actually can get the deal of having the enriched uranium exported from the country. And it's very easy to verify because we will probably have to help them dig it out. It's under, as the president said, a mountain of granite. But I commend the president for pursuing these peace negotiations, and the naysayers need to actually see what's going on before they ruin the negotiations.
I think that would be smart of them to do so. They've defied what is smart, though, in the past, so we'll see. Next one, Senator, this is really horrific breaking news. The FBI has arrested 5 people connected to a planned drone attack. It allegedly involved using explosive-laden drone aircraft to strike buildings near the UFC event at the White House last Sunday. They were also going to use snipers to get people who were trying to escape the drones, and there was an attempt to breach the White House. This appears to have been a very well-coordinated plot, involving as many as 23 different people. Have you been fully briefed on this, and what can you tell us?
I have not yet been briefed on this, but if true, this is a dramatic win for law enforcement and obviously just an incredible thing to save lives. There were a lot of people there. I mean, there were said to be close to 100,000 people on the ellipse adjacent to the White House. So this would have been a terrible tragedy had someone unleashed gunfire on that crowd, particularly if it came from drones and gunfire. So if the FBI brought this down, kudos and congratulations, and our thanks should go with them.
As chairman of Homeland Security Committee, can you confirm that we are well prepared to deal with all these threats as they come up, or does something extra need to be done to protect American people?
You know, I think for, nearly a decade, we've been doing more to look at sports venues because there's a lot of people there and the potential for tragedy. Nobody can say it's perfect, but I can say that a lot goes into protecting the Super Bowl, the NFL games, baseball games, large, crowds like this. But this was an extraordinary crowd. This may be the largest crowd ever to be outside of the White House all at once, including the president and many members of Congress. So if there was a planned attack like this that was averted or stymied, boy, we should be thankful for what the FBI has done.
Absolutely. The FBI and the Secret Service, they worked in tandem to prevent this attack from happening. Thank God they did. Senator, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.